Hi, my name's Marilyn Bloodworth, and I am the pastor of Love Fellowship Ministry, which is located in Woodbury, Tennessee. I'm also the director of Second Chance Resource Center, which is also located in Woodbury, Tennessee. Second Chance Resource Center, it is a place where it's a career center where we help nonviolent felons that get out of jail and they have no place to go as far as resources. I think one of the worst things that I've seen happen is when someone is released from jail or a felon, they have no resources. They no place to go, no jobs or anything. But what we do, we supply the resources that they need, such as information to help them land a job, if their family, have fallen on hard times. Second Chance Resource Center has a place where we work with other companies like stores and different organizations that also give us uh, things that maybe that the families need, like shoes, clothes. I'm talking brand new with tags, not uh, used things. These are brand new items that they also donate to us to try to help the men and women that come out of jail and have no resource. Love Fellowship Ministry is also in the same building. And what it is a place that where the throwaways and nobody else seems to really want. It's a place for them. They come in, we love on them, we don't judge them, we don't tell them they're going to hell. We just show love. Because to me, that's what ministry is about. It's about loving one another, being there for one another. But, you talk about sharing your heart and lifting up that brother or that sister, bearing one another's burdens. It's about being there. And I'm finding that for Love Fellowship Ministry, it's a ministry to me where we have young people come, we have people that have been down on their luck, they just come because they know that they can just come and we're just gonna love on them. We don't tear them down. We don't make them feel like they're not wanted. And I see that so much a lot of the places that I go. And that's one of the reasons that Love Fellowship Ministry was started in this area. I have prayed. I have been trying to find a church since I've been here. I've been to many of the churches in my community, not saying that we have a corner market on God, because we don't. None of us have a corner market on God. We don't really know who's going to make it in until we transition into eternity. But for me, I prayed and I felt God led me to start Love Fellowship Ministry, which is also a church, but it's a place where people can come and we just love on them. We're not going to tear them down. I've been blessed to have opportunities to talk to people that were drug addicts, uh, prostitutes. And one of the things, God has given me favor with, and that's with a lot of young people. I taught 4 years at the high school where in my county. And excuse me. And I'll tell you something. Those 4 years, oh, sorry, y'all, were the best times that I've ever had, because the kids, when I go, I'm treated like a celebrity. I never tear the kids down. I listen to their concerns, their issues, and I just love on them. Most of the kids, they just need somebody to listen. And even as adults, everybody wants to be loved. And everybody wants to know that there's somebody that really does care. I'm finding that a lot of people that come out of jail, I'm sure that, there's some people, excuse me, that have, I'm so sorry. I'm sure that there are people that have come out And they probably won't change their ways right away. But, excuse me, I say, who am I? I mean, I'm only a servant, just like any other minister or man of God that says that he's a preacher. We're servants. We're servants to the people. That's really who we are and what we are. And it's never about the people. It should always be about doing a great work for God. It's about souls. It really is. It's not about, hold on just one second. I'm so sorry. Sinus allergy season. But it's not about, with a lot of people, it's for us. I can only speak for what I believe God gave us the agenda. It's not about getting a whole lot of people to come and join. I mean, it's great if they do, but Love Fellowship Ministries is really a place for people to come, feel comfortable, to know that nobody's going to put them down because they may not be dressed up or they may not look the part. They want to sing and join the choir. If they want to do something for the Lord, that what they find their hands to do, I'm all for it. God called me to preach the word, and that's what I'm going to do. Preach the word and love people. When it's all said and done, and at the end of the day, it comes down to love. Now, I'm sure there are some people that no matter what you say, and I realize everybody does not want God, but there are those that do have a heart for God and the things of God, and we're going to be there for them. Even when sometimes we all fall, we're going to pick them back up and help them continue on their journey. A real, true Christian, that's what it's about. It's about really living the life, loving God with all your heart, your might, your soul, and living life and loving people from the depths of your soul. That's what it's about. Having a place that when you want to come and just worship, and when you're feeling down, and when you're going through something, or when baby doesn't have milk, or when you just maybe messed up and you went and you smoked that joint, or you did that hit of drugs or whatever it is, to know that God is not going to say, okay, I don't have nothing else to do with you. But we thank God that God is a God of a second chance. And we're there for people that's going to come and help them get a made-up mind. See, we help you get to that place where we let you know God really does love you. And it's about really having a made-up mind to love him back. And it takes time because you have to, it is a process. Nothing happens overnight. It's precept upon precept, line upon line. In this last day and time that we're living in this world today, God is going to judge us. Not so much on all this stuff, because you're going to have people say, well, Lord, didn't I do this? And I preached and I did all this for you. But I think somewhere along the line, y'all, I think we're missing it. I really do. I guess for me, I'm from the old school. I was blessed enough to come out of a church. I'm a Kojak kid, Washington Temple Church of God in Christ in Brooklyn. I tell you, came out of a place where the mothers, I mean, they really prayed. Them some praying mothers. I'm telling you, when they prayed, that you can't just get up there and say, okay, I got it. No. And you stayed there, excuse me, until you got it. And those mothers, excuse me, they were really there for the people. They were there for those young girls. And those ones I remember growing up that even were married. They taught those girls how to be wives. When I was growing up, I was part of the Youth Crusaders for Christ. They taught us, I was 14, taught us, I don't even think I was 14, maybe 12 or 13. But they taught us how to really love God. Don't play with God. Just love Him. Live what you possess. But if you say you're a Christian and you say, I am a new creature in Christ, you didn't do the same things you did before. And so these are the things that I believe is missing out of the church today. We used to love on the people. Was, you come, you give your heart to God, and then you learn who Jesus really is. You learn about the things of God, and you do that through loving one another, especially those, as the Bible says, that are of the household of faith. You know what I loved about Jesus? It's with loving kindness that He really drew people in. When somebody stands before you and you entrust your heart with that person to say, hey, this person is going to be my pastor. It's so important that that person is living what the Word said. And that when you come to that person really has a heart and really care about what's going on with you. Your issues, your concerns. That you're not just a body. Just somebody trying to work out your own soul salvation by yourself. I know the Word of God says, let every man work out his own soul salvation with fear and trembling. But when we come into the house of God, and we're raising our hands and we're worshiping Him in spirit and in truth, He also called us to, when we go through, to be there for each other, to bear one another's burdens. That when that sister cried, you cry. When that person need a light bill paid, we could make an offering, collect the money, and pay the light bill for that person. For too long, I've seen people try to take advantage of the church, and that bothers me. But one thing about what we do at Love Fellowship Ministry, we're a young church, and we will help you if we can. But I am so grateful to God that what we do is we coincide and work together with other organizations that are probably those that are in better positions to help us. Where, let's say, if we can't help someone like a family that's homeless, we also work with, and we volunteer our time with Room in the Inn. It's a homeless shelter in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, for families. We've been working with them for over 2 years, 2.5 years. It's really funny because I was going to school, and I went in there to do a project for my class on programs that cater to the community. And I wind up going in, and I met her name is Christina Huddleston, and just to sit down with her and interview her and to hear her heart's cry, how her mother was the same way, just was there to love people, make a difference in the lives of other people. And for me, she allowed me to interview a lot of the people because my concept at the time was totally just warped. I'll say warped. My concept was, drug addicts and prostitutes. And no, it's nothing like that. These are normal, everyday people that have become down on their luck, and God has touched her, blessed her to be able to open up the place so that the people could come, and she makes a difference in their lives. And we've been going ever since. And I was to the point myself, I was about to say, hey, I'm going to just throw in the towel. And I began to talk to the Lord, and I said, God, I'm right at the crossroads. I don't know anymore. Either you called me or you didn't. Either you really want to do a great work in my life or you don't. And it's really funny. God put people in my life that, as I shared my heart, They handed me the keys to where I needed to be. And I was able to go in, and God blessed us. See, Love Fellowship Ministry is a ministry for people that really have a heart and really want to know the God of the Bible, and to know that we all have our faults, we make mistakes. There are none of us that are perfect, but to know that they can come into a place that they're not going to be put out, but loved on, and as they go through, we're there to help them, minister to them through the word, encouraging them. Now, don't get me wrong. There comes a point where, you know, we will help as much as we can. But once again, it comes up to people having to have a made up mind. It's going to come a time where you're going to really have to make up your mind whether you're going to live for God or not, or if you're going to straddle the fence or not. There are some people that are just really into their drugs, and they try. And sometimes you just have to love people at a distance. If they're not willing to give up the drugs or give up uh, selling the drugs on the street, then you have to just give, not give up, but you keep them up in prayer. And even when you see them, don't turn them away. Still love on them, tell them you miss them, and still try to do everything in your power to get them the help they need. I often tell my young people, and I love skits because I love to work with the kids through skits and puppets. But one of the things I used to say to the kids in high school, I have never known a child to say to their mother, "Mom, when I grow up, I want to be a prostitute and sell my body on the street." Or, "Mom, when I grow up, I want to, sell drugs for a living." Or, "I want to be a pimp." Or, "I want to be a drug dealer." I've never ever heard any child say that to his mother. Most people that you see go through these things, if they just, you know, life shows up and they've just had some bad experiences in life. And what do we do? Do we just say, "No, you're not part of our club or our clique, so we can't let you come in"? I'm so grateful that Jesus wasn't like that. Jesus was cool. He was a man that meant what he said what he meant. He didn't take no mess. He was a man that when people listened to him, a man of authority. And he loved people. And that's what I loved about Jesus. He had a great compassion for people. And we as Christians should be the same way. So I pray every day. I'm not perfect. I am striving to be what I feel God is leading me to be. And I'm going to continue to do everything in my power with God's help, the leading and guiding of His Spirit, to be what He wants me to be. My prayer is that everything I do is not of myself, but it is in God. And that is true. To just love His people, love His word, love Him, and do a great work for God, for the kingdom. Because it really comes down to souls. And people today, you're going into churches, you got to know. I mean, I'm all for whatever, you have to be led by the Spirit of God. And if you make a choice or a decision to go to a church, make sure that the church that you're going to know those who labor among you. Know that they're living what they're preaching about. And see, I'm different. I guess, I don't know. I just love people from my heart. I just have to. Because I look at all the things that I go through and I deal with every day. Every day. I go through the same thing. I'm looking for a job just like I'm helping the fellas look for jobs. Excuse me. I'm looking for jobs too. You have to be able to relate. I grew up in Brooklyn, Brownsville, East New York. I know what it's like to duck and dodge bullets and live in a bad area. And I know what it's like to have a knife put to my throat and somebody wanting to cut my throat. I was a teenager. I know what it's like to see your mother get killed and be thrown off a six-story roof into an alley. I know what it's like to have to duck and dodge and go up, to catch the train to go to school over dead bodies. Looking in the alley and you're seeing drug addicts and try to go upstairs. I used to try to go upstairs to the building, and just the stench, just alone, is enough to just make you choke, from the urinating. And every day trying to come home, just it was just a horrible situation. Seeing young girls, young as 10, 12, 13 years old, selling their bodies on the street for drugs. I know what it's like to see somebody have a child and take that child and sell that child for $20 to a pimp. I mean, these are things that I grew up around. They call them, I guess they call them crack houses now. But when I was growing up, they called them like what, the Taj Mahal. I mean, they go in there, and they be getting out. I think for me, if anybody know anything about the movie New Jack City, that to me was the closest thing of how it was for me growing up in the Bronx and Brooklyn. It was just like that. It was a tough life, and I'm sure it's probably worse now. I'm grown now and I've got grandkids. But back then I was young, my brother and I. And it was a tough life. But I guess one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, I was asked by a young man, let me see if I have his name. He asked me to do it. And one of the reasons he asked me to do it was, and I agree with him, sometimes, I think his last name is Hall. I don't have it in front of me, but anyway, his last name is Hall. Bill Hall, I think is his name. And he said, and I agree with him, you know, we talk about how we want to grow our church and get all these mega people in. And all that's fine, to each his own. I'm not knocking if that's your way of doing it. But I told God, for me, when people come in, I want them to see Jesus Christ, Him crucified in my life. I want them to see somebody that really loves God, that really want to make an impact in the lives of others, that really, when somebody come to me say, hey, can I meet with you and brother so-and-so and sit down and we talk about things? I want them to know that they can come and really trust. They don't have to worry about all this other stuff, but we're going to go through to the throne of God and to God's word. And things will always work it out. And while we're doing that, also find ways to be able, through other organizations, to make a difference in their lives, to help them with whatever it is that they're going through. So see, we can still pray, but I'm a believer. Faith without works is dead. We still have to meet that need if we can meet that need. And that's why it's so important that even as a church and as a ministry, that we hook up or connect with other organizations such as ours. Remember, we're all in this together. And it's about helping and making a difference in the lives of so many other people. That's what it's about. So I guess what I'm saying to all of y'all out here, if you're really looking for a church, and let's say if you're in the church that you're going to, I'm not trying to fleece anybody's sheep, but all I'm saying is take a look and really ask yourself, if you're in a church and you're not really growing and that church is not really there for you, but if you feel it's just there a lot of cliques and all of that, think about Love Fellowship Ministry. We really are about people. We're about really making a difference. We don't judge you. We leave judging to God, because one thing is true. We're trying to make heaven our home just like you. We're trying to make it too. So I mean, we don't put ourselves in a position where we think we're so much holier than thou. One of the things I do know, you have a lot of people talking about heaven, But they're gonna be really surprised when they try to go up to the pearly gates and and knock the pearly gates down, thinking that they're gonna get in there and say, "Hey, Jesus, what's up?" It's not gonna happen like that, because I think when it's all said and done, it's really about people, the love of people. And when we talk about being a representative for God, let's really be that representative. I'm telling you. And I'm sharing my heart with y'all because Mr. Hall said he wanted us to just let the people see you for who you are. Let the people see, the realness, the sincere. People know as I'm talking to you right now, you can tell where my heart is and where my passion is. I mean, I'm so involved in so many things. When I was working at the high school, now I'll go ahead and try to cut this quick. I saw where the young girls would come to me a lot, the teens, and they would share about their different situations and things they were going to. And I felt there was a need. So I started a program called Ladies of Destiny Arise and Take Your Place. And it's a program where we try to build their self-esteem and encourage young girls and even those that are overweight. We try to let them know you are still beautiful. You have a purpose and you have a destiny in life. And we cultivate that, you see. I mean, these are the things that I try to do. Even dealing with the juvenile detention centers and group homes. So many of our young kids, youth, especially the girls, they don't think anybody cares. They don't think anybody is concerned about them. God has blessed me. He's given me a gift where I make these beautiful dolls, and now I do them so that they're like maybe 6 or 7 inches now, and I stuff them. They're cloth dolls now, and I take them and I try to whenever we go to the detention centers or the group homes, we share. I talk as an inspirational speaker. I go and I talk. I share. We give them the dolls and just let them know that you are loved. There's somebody out here that really care about you. You do count, because a lot of them have maybe bad home situations, maybe ran away. And I shared little things about how when a lot of these kids run away, especially if they go into the big cities like California and New York, you always have a pimp or somebody standing there watching and waiting. But I always try to let them know things are never that bad as they seem. We as men and women of God, we should always try to be available some way, somehow. Remember, our lives, our life, our lives are not our own. Our lives really have been bought with a price. And it's up to us. When we take on the calling of being men and women of God, God is going to hold us accountable. It really is about people's lives. And we really do have to count up the cost. So for me, I'm learning. But if you're interested in a church that is really about you, where ministry really is about you, come on down and see us out at Love Fellowship Ministry. That's 1588 Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Murfreesboro Road. Okay, I take that back. 1588 Murfreesboro Road in Woodbury, Tennessee. We also have Second Chance Resource Center right next door. If you're looking for a job and you've just recently gotten out of jail, and even if you haven't gotten out of jail, if there's something that we can do that's going to help you get a job, please, by all means, come on out and check us out. Love Fellowship Ministry is Suite B. Second Chance Resource Center is Suite C. So come on and check us out. If you're ever in the area, you want to give us a call, that's 615-924-1445. Or check us out on the web. For Second Chance Resource Center, that's secondchanceresourcecenter.org. And for Love Fellowship Ministry, that's lovefellowshipministry.org. O-R. Or is it .com? Well, you will find us. You can also find both of us, Second Chance Resource Center and Love Fellowship Ministry, on Facebook. Look for us. And God bless you. Thank you for your time. I hope you consider coming out. And at least you have the opportunity to hear the heart of a woman that really loved God and loved his people. And I am a prayer warrior, so when I pray, I will be lifting up your needs before God. God bless you. I hope this has been an enlightening. Hope it's been enlightening, and God bless you. Thank you so much. I've been told I'm long-winded, so God bless you, and I appreciate you so much. This is Marilyn, again with Love Fellowship Ministries here in the heart of Woodbury, Tennessee, which is Cannon County, um, the county. So God bless you. Thank you so much. Bye now.